Welcome back. Three the hallway. Here to talk about some football this time. Football. We're gonna talk about the marquee matchup, some breakout players that we expect to see some stepping into their game or blowing up this year. Who wants to start? Marquee matchup. We got a marquee matchup that we need to circle on our calendars right now.
I got a marquee matchup that everybody, especially people on this show, need to circle. Week 3, the Falcons in the Meadowlands. We kicking tail and taking names.
Yo! Let's go!
I'm saying it right here, right now. The Falcons going 11-6. We winning the division. Going back to the playoffs.
That's a bold statement.
And we're going to start off by kicking some tiny blue tail.
You talking to me? Yeah, I think you're talking to you.
That's all I got to say about that. That's my first marquee matchup.
Tiny blue tail.
The best type of food is birds. Giants hungry.
You must like
birds.
the Eagles because you ain't eating no dirty birds over here.
Dirty bird. Salt and pepper with lemon wings.
Because I'm from New York City, goddammit.
11-5, Rob?
11-6.
11-6. Right. 17 games this year.
Listen, I got that on the calendar. I think that me and Rob's gonna actually go to that game.
So 11-5, is that enough to make the playoffs to win the division? 11-6. You got the Bucks and you got the Saints. I guess we can talk about the Panthers. I'm not really worried about the Panthers.
Oh, the Saints is trash.
No, I'm gonna say this because I say I'm not worried about the Panthers. But if Christian McCaffrey come back healthy, he can put a team on his back. I ain't winning the game in front of them.
Yeah, Sam Darnold reconnected with Robbie Anderson.
I just see Robbie Anderson having a great season. I like Sam Darnold. Don't get me wrong. I think Sam Darnold was overlooked, but I'm not expecting him to be a top 10 quarterback or anything like that. At least not this year.
Top 10 quarterback with Christian McCaffrey.
Got to hit the back. He didn't work that well with the last back that was supposed to be a scat back receiving star. Exactly, with Le'Veon.
That was Bug Eyes. That was Bug Eyes Gates.
Why you bringing up old?
On another more realistic note, because we could also talk about the Falcons versus the Patriots on week 11, November 18th. My birthday, you know what I'm saying? Just saying about that. Anyways, but the other games I really want to circle is the week 2, the homie versus the Ravens. I think that's just like it's primetime football. Like, you get your popcorn ready. You just know it's going to be a good show. You got the Ravens.
And it's funny because as a Raven fan, we have to be able to get over the hump of the Chiefs. And I don't like getting the Chiefs that early in the season. Because let's say worst case scenario, the Chiefs blow us out. We win the next 10 games. Or 7 games or 8 games. And we feel like, and if you look at the next games after the Chiefs, it's the Lions who are in reconstruction. It's the Broncos. The Colts are pretty good. The Chargers are in reconstruction. Bengals are in reconstruction. The Vikings, we're never sure with them. The Dolphins are usually in limbo. Like, there's good teams on the record, but we don't play another championship before the season starts. I know it's early, but before the season starts, championship contender team until we jump back into the division November 28th against the Browns. And the bottom half of our season is tough, but I'd rather Kansas City be down there because over the years, and I've noticed this as a Raven fan, we've been able to hide behind certain things that make us good, and we're good. But we're not there yet. It's a strong facet to our game that has to improve for us to be, to me, a true championship contender team. Now, with a guy like Lamar Jackson, you can win any football game. But that doesn't make you a true contender. That's like saying, with Dame over the last 10 years, you can win any basketball game if there's only 2 points left. But they have no championships because you can't sustain with just depending on one person to be Superman. And we got to see. We got to see. We have a strong defense. The Chiefs aren't as deep as they were last year, but they to me, they don't have to be the best team. And I do think the Chiefs are going to repeat early. I've been saying that all off season, and since they lost,
Chiefs are going to repeat.
Repeat at least as the AFC champions. Oh. They'll be back up there. I think they'll be back in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to repeat the season in the sense where they'll be back. I said that when it was over, said that before it happened, and I'm saying it now. But for the Ravens, I actually have another game that's important to us for the same reasons, and I think that's Week 17 against the Rams. I expect the Rams to really be good this year. I expect the Rams to finally have that offense clicking more consistently. That defense is only getting better, stronger. Aaron Donald's getting help on the line, so I think that's a good measuring stick game going into the playoffs. I have no doubt that my Ravens are a playoff team. I'm at that point where I don't want to just be a playoff team anymore. Um, we want to win 15-1, 14-2. All those records are great regular season, but we want to. This team is a team. I mean, as a Raven fan, I've seen championships. I've seen contending teams lose in a situation where they should have won. So in the last two playoffs, I haven't seen that. We got spanked and we got spanked bad.
Yes, he did.
I want to see what happens this year. Week 17, Ravens. Week 17, Rams at the Ravens is important to me.
Hey man, you talked about the guy that lost in Super Bowl. I want to talk about the guy that won a Super Bowl. Man said, my arm, I had to get major surgery done to my arm and my leg.
My neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
And I was still winning.
Who's this man, Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. Look, man. The man said that he was learning about offenses all the way up to week 16. I was guessing sometimes. Imagine what he's going to do in year 2 with a healthy arm and a healthy leg and a knowledge of the playbook. Man, look, week 4 is the matchup we need to be talking about. Where Tom Brady goes back to Foxborough to play against the Patriots and see, as Rob calls him, Dad lose to son.
I am your father.
Yeah, another interesting thing about that game, Tom Brady's like, I want to say like 1,200 passing yards away from passing Drew Brees as the all-time leading passer in NFL. So if he averages around, 300 yards for the first few,
he could be breaking that in Foxborough. That's amazing.
In like Tom Brady, I would even call it hate. He's probably going to go for that record in Foxborough.
I can see him leaving it on the table in week 3 just so he can make sure he gets it in Foxborough.
Yep. Petty like that.
I actually have the Bucs down for another game too, a little bit deeper into the season when all the records, all the accolades don't matter as much as winning and losing. My dark horse for the Super Bowl outside of my Ravens team, the other true contender in the AFC, Buffalo travels to Tampa, and hey man, I feel like they're knocking on the door. I feel like Buffalo is knocking on the door. I feel like the Browns are knocking on the door. I think the Steelers kind of hold that middle balance of are we championship contenders, or are we just good enough to be in the mix every year, kind of like the Ravens, but more on a decline than the Ravens, which should be an incline, but it seems like they're hitting a glass ceiling. And then after that, the AFC is open, but at the top for me is the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. And if the Bills want to hold that top spot, they got to go up. They got to see what it's like to play against these other teams in the NFC. And that's the team that they need to model behind. That's the team that they need to show that they can go out there and beat and be taken seriously. Buffalo's been around. Last year they were around. The year before that they were around, but they weren't as good. They're inclining. So how far can they go with it? I really want to see that Josh Allen, Tom Brady matchup right there. Stefon Diggs against the 3-star receivers in Tampa should be really, really good. But let's talk about some. We talk about some marquee matchups. Who's gonna have an outstanding season that everyone's not talking about this person right now, but they're going to have a breakout season this year. Who we got for breakout seasons?
Me? Third string? You must not have heard about me. Joe Burrow about to have a big season this year. I like to pick up with Jamar Chase for Cincinnati. You already had Tyler Boyd. Now he has, and he also has T. Higgins. Like Joe Mix is gonna come back healthy. Listen, man, it's the recipe is already in there for him to have a big season. He showed you what he can do last year as a rookie. This is his second season coming into it. Familiarity with the speed of the NFL, making his adjustments, and he has nothing but time to study and watch film. I feel like he's going to be primed for a big comeback. And as Doctor said, he's A-OK. I'm excited about Joe Burrow.
Like that. Aside from what's his name? Kyle Pitts, baby Megatron, the best tight end of all time.
Skip say what? Man, you heard me. Come again, say what?
Breakout season his first year.
Bro, Megatron.
I'm expecting him to be the best receiver in the league this year. He's gonna be Travis Kelce and Rob Mine. Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, all wrapped in one. Was he invited to the tight ends camp?
He is the tight end camp.
Was he invited to the tight end camp?
He was invited to the wide receivers camps because he's just too big to play receiver. So they put him at tight end. But aside from him, I just got to get that off my chest. I have heard rumblings out of the Dolphins camp and that Tua Tagovailoa is poised for a huge breakout year. They just picked up Will Fuller. They picked up Jalen Waddle.
Waddle, yeah.
They got Mike Gesicki. They got 2-3 running backs, Salvon Ahmed.
They got Devontae Parker.
They got Devontae Parker still. I mean, it's going to be his second year under the system. They didn't draft the quarterback. Brissett is there, and I feel like Brissett is a really good insurance player, but I also feel like he knows his role as a backup. He backed up Phillip Rivers last year. He backed up Tom Brady for most of his career. So I feel like he's going to be a really good mentor to Tua, and I think Tua is going to be poised to have a really strong breakout year. He had a tough time really understanding defenses. Not really a tough time. He struggled from time to time, but I feel like this year is kind of a light bulb is going to go off for us in the sense for him.
That's a lot of weapons out there in Miami. That's a lot of weapons. I know there's a quarterback out there that's not happy with his team for not having enough weapons. Whew, if Aaron Rodgers was to go out there to Miami, but you got Tua earning and keeping his spot. I got Marquise Brown. I'm going to be a homer today. I think the addition of Sammy Watkins puts Marquise Brown finally in his true position, which is a flanker, puts him more in the slot, less outside of the tight ends, because of course the offense, our passing offense is tight end heavy. The Ravens passing offense is tight end heavy. So they get Mark Andrews may get more attention than Marquise Brown still, but he has the ability to take the top off, and Sammy Watkins being a great route runner, a true number one receiver, or at least putting him in a position where he can perform like a true number one receiver again, with Tyreek Hill taking those number one honors over in Kansas City. But I think that this is the year where he can have more than 50 catches, where he can do more than just take the top off in the play action game. And he won't be seeing the best defender on teams that already don't respect the wide receiver core in the first place. So I think the wide receiver core has to get better if Baltimore's to turn the page or to become even better, to truly be a championship contender. They're gonna have to improve their passing game, their aerial game. Not just the quarterback being dynamic, and the only way to do that is to get that ball out there. With Sammy Watkins on the team, I think he'll be able to see a lot more touches, a lot more targets, and he's a homer. He's a big play hitter. So, and the Ravens have a bunch of those. So the playbook should allow for him to make some really big plays, but I also want to see some games where he's 7, 8, 9 catches 3-4 times in a row. I think this could be the year that he does that. Yeah, I know. He averages like 5 catches a game.
No, he's not.
Over his career. He had 46 last year. Get out of here. What's that?
If he averaged 6 catches, he catch 100 yards, 100 passes.
5 times. Okay, no. 5 times 16.
You said 6.
Okay. He averaged about 5 catches a game.
5 is still that's
He only caught the ball 47 times last year.
like 2-3 times in a game.
Gotta be able. I think this opens it up for him to be able to get open. They drafted a receiver. They added a receiver. Duvernay's coming up. Miles Boykin is there. And still, Marquise Brown needs to be the dynamic first round draft pick that he was. So,
they drafted another receiver too in the first round.
Another one, yeah. But I think that covers it all for football today. We're gonna jump in with some down the stretch in a second. It's been 3 the hallway.